Oh, hi, my name is Samuel Izurza for the SE channel. I want to welcome to my channel and please tune in and also please hit the bell button so like that you can receive my videos. I have a lot of good videos out there, people who know that, and the purge is still on. Now, like I said, God bless the people in North Carolina, South Carolina. Hope all is well down there. And let's send them a blessing. Now, the more I watch this video, the more I'm actually believing that Secretary Pompeo is actually warning John Kerry to stay away from the Iranian deal and, go out to pasture somewhere and retire and, go make some hot dogs and whatever, have a barbecue and just stay away from politics. Now, we're going to take a look at the video and analyze a little bit, but he's really mad. And he's warning. He's actually warning, or maybe what he's really saying is, this is your last warning, John Kerry, to stay away from the Iranian deal. Because remember, he was the mastermind of all this. It was a total disaster. It was a complete breakdown. And not only that, but, the mullahs got 1.6 billion in cash. Remember the plane deals, 1.6 billion in cash. And then, and also the $150 billion that they got, and so on. I don't want to go much into the details. I just want to focus on what Pompeo had to say, and he is blistering hopping mad. And it seems like this is John Kerry's last warning. Okay? So basically, I'm just reading over here. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo held a briefing with reporters at the State Department in Washington, D.C. He was asked about the meeting between former Secretary of State John Kerry and Iranian officials. Secretary Pompeo responded saying, actively undermining U.S. policy as a former Secretary of State is literally unheard of, which is true. It's 100% true. Other topics were addressed, but let's just take a look at this for a second, okay? Hold on.
A day.
Let's just hear a little bit.
At the State Department Friday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accused one of his predecessors of actively undermining U.S. policy when asked about reports of former Secretary of State John Kerry meeting with Iranian officials. Secretary Pompeo also talked about election security, North Korea, and hurricane response efforts. This is 15 minutes.
Okay. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I just want to, just for this. Hold on.
Good afternoon, sir. I was going to ask you about your interior decorating plans at your new house, but I thought I would instead start with something a little bit more mundane on the policy-wise, and that is that on a policy question, that is that last night President Trump tweeted about one of your predecessors, Secretary Kerry, saying that he was having quote-unquote illegal meetings with Iran's foreign minister, and what others have said is an attempt to undermine or subvert or coach the Iranians on how to get around or avoid your new harder, tougher policy in Iran. I'm wondering if you share the president's view that these meetings are illegal, and whether you do or not, if you have noticed in your attempts to get with the Europeans and others to get them on board with the new U.S. policy, that efforts by Secretary Kerry or any other former official, for that matter, is interfering in or undermining your efforts.
So I'll leave the legal determinations to others. But what Secretary Kerry has done is unseemly and unprecedented. This is a former Secretary of State engaged with the world's largest state sponsor of terror. And according to him, right? You don't have to take my word for it. These are his answers. He was talking to them. He was telling them to wait out this administration. You can't find precedent for this in U.S. history, and Secretary Kerry ought not to engage in that kind of behavior. It's inconsistent with what foreign policy of the United States is, as directed by this president, and it is beyond inappropriate for him to be engaged in this. I remember I saw him in Munich at the security conference. He was there with, if I have my facts right, because I think I saw them all with my own eyes, Secretary Moniz and Wendy Sherman, the Troika. And I am confident that they met with their Troika counterparts, although one can perhaps ask Secretary Kerry if my recollection with respect to that is accurate. I wasn't in the meeting, but I am reasonably confident that he was not there in support of U.S. policy with respect to the Islamic Republic of Iran, who this week fired Katyusha rockets toward the United States Embassy in Baghdad and took action against our consulate in Basra.
Has it had an impact? Has it hurt your efforts? That's just it.
Or okay. I think you understand what I wish it is, that former secretaries of state, all of them, from either political party, ought not to be engaged in. Actively undermining U.S. policy as a former Secretary of State is literally unheard of.
Leslie Rowden from Reuters.
Mr. Secretary, good afternoon. I wanted to reach out to you regarding Russia and China are suggesting at the Security Council that you should be, the United States and others should be easing sanctions against North Korea, given progress in their eyes so far in the denuclearization process. What signs are you seeing?
Well, you heard Secretary Pompeo. They're actually throwing rockets, the Iranians throwing rockets at the Americans. So it's just unbelievable that former Secretary John Kerry would actually undermine this Secretary of State and U.S. policy. Now, what it seems to me, I think, the most important of all this, it seems like the Americans or Trump or Secretary Pompeo is saying, this is your last warning. Stay away. My name is Samuel Izerza for the SE Channel. Tell me what you think. Drop a note. And God bless the Republic.